According to the American Psychological Association, 47% of all adults experience psychological manipulation at some point in their lives, nearly half the population. And the most dangerous part is not the manipulation itself. It is that most victims do not realize it is happening until long after the damage is done. Manipulators do not announce themselves. They do not wear signs. They are often the most charming, attentive, and seemingly caring people in your life. That is by design. Today we are breaking down 9 signs that someone is secretly manipulating you. These are not opinions. They are patterns identified by psychologists and researchers who study coercive behavior. Sign 1. They overwhelm you with attention at the beginning. Psychologists call this love bombing. It is when someone showers you with excessive praise, affection, gifts, or attention very early in a relationship, whether romantic, professional, or even a new friendship. It feels incredible. You think you have finally found someone who truly sees you. But love bombing has a purpose. The manipulator is accelerating emotional attachment so you feel indebted before you even realize what is happening. Research on narcissistic personality patterns shows that love bombing is the most common opening move because it creates a psychological debt that can be leveraged later. The test is simple. Does this level of attention match the depth of the relationship? If someone you met 2 weeks ago is calling you their soulmate, that is not connection. That is construction. Sign 2. Your social circle starts shrinking. You do not notice it at first. They make a comment about your best friend being a bad influence. They suggest your family does not understand you. They create small conflicts between you and the people you trust. Over weeks or months, you find yourself spending less time with everyone except them. Isolation is the manipulator's most strategic move because it removes witnesses. When you are isolated, there is nobody to say, wait, that is not normal. There is nobody to validate your reality. You become entirely dependent on the manipulator's version of events. Sign 3. You start doubting your own memory. You distinctly remember them saying something hurtful. But when you bring it up, they deny it completely. I never said that. You are imagining things. That is not what happened. This is gaslighting, and it is one of the most studied manipulation tactics in psychology. Over time, repeated gaslighting makes you distrust your own perception. You start checking with them before trusting your own feelings. You begin sentences with, "Am I crazy?" or "Did that actually happen?" That question is not a sign of confusion. It is a sign of successful manipulation. It is a sign of successful manipulation. Sign 4. Vulnerability becomes a weapon. In the love bombing phase, they encouraged you to open up. They asked about your fears, your insecurities, your past trauma. They seemed so empathetic. But a manipulator stores vulnerability like ammunition. The moment you challenge them or try to set a boundary, they use your own words against you. No wonder your ex left you. You told me yourself you are not good enough. Researchers call this weaponized intimacy. The information you shared in trust becomes a tool of control. If someone consistently brings up your insecurities during arguments, that is not passion. That is calculated cruelty. Sign 5. Somehow you are always the one apologizing. You enter a conversation to address something they did wrong. 10 minutes later, you are apologizing. You cannot explain how it happened. The topic shifted. Suddenly the focus is on something you did 3 months ago, or on how your tone was aggressive, or on how bringing it up proves you do not trust them. This is called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Researchers at the University of Oregon identified this as a consistent pattern in manipulative relationships. The manipulator denies the behavior, attacks the person confronting them, and then reverses roles so they become the victim. If you consistently leave conversations feeling guilty for raising a legitimate concern, DARVO is happening. Sign 6. Every favor comes with an invisible price tag. They helped you move, they lent you money, they stayed up late listening to your problems, and now they remind you of it every time they want something. After everything I have done for you, this is how you treat me. I was there for you when nobody else was. This is transactional generosity. The favors were never free. They were investments in a debt you did not agree to. Genuine kindness does not keep a ledger. If someone regularly references their past generosity to control your present behavior, that generosity was never about you. Sign 7. When you displease them, they disappear. Not a healthy pause. Not taking space. Complete withdrawal. No texts. No eye contact. No acknowledgement of your existence. For hours, days, or even weeks. And you have no idea what you did wrong. The silent treatment is one of the 6 primary manipulation tactics identified by psychology researchers. It works because it exploits your need for resolution. You cannot defend yourself against nothing. So you start guessing, apologizing for things you did not do, and adjusting your behavior to avoid triggering their withdrawal again. That is the goal. The silence trains you to self-censor. Sign 8. Saying no makes you the villain. You set a reasonable boundary. You set a reasonable boundary. I need some time alone tonight. I am not comfortable with that. I would rather not discuss this right now. And their response is designed to make you feel guilty for having needs. You are so selfish. If you really loved me, you would not need space from me. Fine, I guess I do not matter to you. Manipulators treat boundaries as personal attacks because boundaries limit their access and control. A healthy person respects your no without punishing you for it. A manipulator makes you pay for every boundary you set until you stop setting them entirely. Sign 9. You feel anxious around them but cannot explain why. On paper, they are wonderful. They say the right things. They do thoughtful gestures. Everyone else thinks they are amazing. But something in your body does not agree. You feel tension in your chest. You rehearse conversations before having them. You walk on eggshells without knowing why. Neuroscience research shows that the body detects threat patterns before the conscious mind can articulate them. Your amygdala processes danger signals 400 milliseconds faster than your prefrontal cortex can rationalize them. That gut feeling is not paranoia. It is your brain's early warning system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here is the pattern that connects all 9 signs. Manipulation is not one dramatic event. It is a gradual erosion. Love bombing creates dependency. Isolation removes support. Gaslighting destroys self-trust. Weaponized vulnerability enforces silence. Dervo blocks accountability. Transactional kindness creates debt. Silent treatment trains compliance. Boundary violations eliminate resistance. And your own body sounds an alarm that your conscious mind has been trained to ignore. The single most important thing you can do is trust the signal your body is sending. If something feels wrong, it probably is. You do not need evidence. You do not need permission. You do not need them to admit it. Your own discomfort is enough information to act on.